Hello, this is James Francis Peter Marsh again. I want to tell you a little story of what happened way back in 1967. That was the summer of love. I missed it. Uncle Sam called me. I got drafted. Spent a little over 12 months in Vietnam. And when I got back, there wasn't much help or hope for a lot of people. I had a friend tell me, said, when you come home, hang up that uniform and keep your mouth shut. Don't talk about it. It's not very popular. And a lot of Vietnam vets, they stuffed everything inside of them. And 1968, the following year, was a terrible year in America. And there were people that I knew. There was a fellow named Joe Smith from my town, Portchester, New York. And I talked to him one time. He had gotten back from Vietnam. He said, I'm going back again. I said, why? He said, well, it's good. The money's good. I get a combat pay, overseas pay. I said, Joe, don't do it. Don't do it. And he went back in the Marines, and a mortar hit him and he was killed. That was just one. There was so many people that lost their lives, and it bothered me, and I had no help. It bothered me deep inside. I used to worry, what happened with Ken Wiley? What happened with all these men that were wounded? Why did I make it? And some people didn't make it back. And I had to resolve that. And I signed up for a night school in New York City called the New School of Social Research. And I was taking a memory course, and I got in there, and I couldn't remember why I took it. They didn't teach me very much, so I dropped out. But, walking around in Greenwich Village, it was really strange. I remember a guy leaning against the archway there in Washington Square Park, and he was singing Proud Mary, playing a guitar and begging for money. And there was probably over 1,000 hippies out there, 9 o'clock at night, little teeny bopper kids, 7, 8 years old, just out there like it was noonday and it was 9:30 at night. And people selling drugs. Hey, who wants to buy hashish? Who wants to buy marijuana? And the police walking right by there and just walking as if nothing happened. And there were protests on Stonewall Inn. There was just a lot of madness going on, and I packed up. I said, I've got to get out of here. I couldn't find any relief with inside. And I used to sometimes spend 50 cents or $1 at the Strand bookstore. It was a little bookstore that I really liked. And I went in there and picked up a book for 50 cents one time. It was 1968. And it was called Markings by Dag Hammarskjöld. And I remembered his name because he was the head of the United Nations, and he was killed in a terroristic plane crash over Africa where the plane, there was a bomb went off and he died, and that was the end of that. But somebody found his notes that he had taken at home, and I started reading that book on the train, and I thought, man, I could do this. He would put the date, the time, and the day, and he would just say whatever he felt. If he felt like somebody was against him, he would say it, and nobody would read it. But they published it after he was gone. And it was called Markings. And that book kind of altered the course of my life. And as a result, I started doing the same thing. I would get a notebook. This is a college-ruled notebook with several hundred pages. And I started writing down. This was 1968, 69. I started writing down my feelings. I'd put the date, the time, the day. And I'd say, I don't feel good. I'm thinking about Vietnam. I'm thinking about going back in, and I don't know why. Why would I want to re-enlist when I was praying to get out of the place? And I was confused. And so I began to write down my thoughts. And little by little, that helped me. I can't explain it, but after over 50 years, I probably have well over 50 of these notebooks in my closet. I've got fire safes that I just stuck them in. I think I have 4 fire safes filled with them. And they were just my feelings, my thoughts. I didn't share them with anybody. And that became a hobby, like a habit, maybe a habit like shaving every morning. I would just go in and write down morning. If I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt survivor's guilt or fear or anything, I would just write it down. I feel lousy. I feel good. I feel bad. And as a result, to me, it was therapeutic. And I went on with my life. I mean, I managed to go to college, go to grad school, get a job, do what most Americans did. They paid their bills and tried to behave and try to be nice to your family. And but that was became a hobby, and I still do it to this very day. If I wake up like 1:30 in the morning, I'll go out in the den, just sit down and write my thoughts. And I began to see the hand of God in it. It's hard to explain. I just began to see his hand. Sometimes answered prayer, sometimes I'd be in a jam, sometimes I'd need something, and it would be a miracle. And maybe in a later time I'll share some of those things. But I share this with you because it's not for everybody. Some people go out and play golf as a hobby. Some people do basket weaving. Some people play video games. I can't tell you what would help you. But I know with me, it relaxes me, and I journal. That's what I call it, journaling. And I share that with you because maybe there's 1 out of 100 people that I'm speaking to that it might help. You get yourself a pen and a notebook and write your feelings. And if you're confused or depressed or suicidal, anything, you sit down and you write your feelings, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and begin to talk in your pen to God. And you'll see miracles in your life, I promise you. And you don't have to hurt yourself. You don't have to go drink or take drugs. You don't have to do that. I'm happy naturally. I'm happy, at peace. All I ever wanted in life was peace. Vietnam is behind me. I wear a hat just as a conversational piece to strike up a conversation with some people. But inside, I have the peace of Jesus Christ. I have the peace in my mind and in my heart. I want nothing in this life other than that. And that's what I have day and night. Nobody can take that away. And I'll even write about it today. God bless you, and I hope you have a happy, prosperous day. Bye-bye.